Hey, church. 2 days ago, Church Council met over Zoom to discuss and discern when and how we will regather for corporate worship. With Virginia moving into Phase 1 for reopening tomorrow, we wanted to let you know what our plans are as of today. The big question is, when will we regather? We do not have an exact date yet. We know it will not be in the month of May, but we do believe it will be sometime this summer. What we can say is we are monitoring the news and that we promise to offer a 2-week notice informing you of when we will worship in person again. We know some churches are reopening as early as this Sunday, and we are praying for them, but we do not believe it is prudent or responsible for our congregation to gather just yet. It is important to me that you know that your health and well-being are at the forefront of these decisions, and they guide our collective prayers and decisions. We also know that you, like us, are anxious to experience normalcy in your daily life. And part of that rhythm is the consistency of going to church. It will be possible for us to worship together soon. But based on recommendations from the Center for Disease Control and the wider public conversation throughout the country, we believe a patient, conservative approach for regathering is key. But this hasn't stopped us from determining how we will regather. Similar to states around the country, we are implementing a multi-phase strategy for how we regather for worship. Outlined this week in our Soundings newsletter, as well as on our website and even emails sent out to and from the church, is our initial reopening strategy. These phases are subject to change based on updated scientific data, but you will notice we have protocols for worship, building use, Sunday school, and administration. We're preparing for a safe, slow regathering that will last several months in length. One thing you will notice is that we will do our best to remain physically distant. We'll use the fellowship hall as an overflow space for broadcasting our services in the sanctuary, and we will not be singing communally at first. I know it sounds crazy, but singing is worse than coughing. The coronavirus spreads rapidly in groups who prolong their time together in a shared air-conditioned space, especially if they're talking or singing, which, sadly, is what we do at church. That's why we'll initially require masks and not sing corporately. I won't read all the phasing strategies here, but as you do, if you have questions or concerns, please do not hesitate to contact me. We're doing the best we can with the information we have and what we know. We are praying and deeply discerning in community about what is the next right thing for us to do. I can tell you personally, these decisions are not easy. They're hard, deeply stressful. We have one chance to regather together safely without overexposure, and we want to be as optimistic as possible to offer that for you and your family when we do. I know some will argue that if it's legal to be open, we should do so, and then let people decide for themselves whether to come. Others will rightfully claim that we should not be beholden to the state to dictate our church's behavior. These are fair critiques. I don't have easy answers for them, but I will tell you a quick story. In 2017, I was invited to Boston by the Baptist News Global and the Baugh Foundation to participate in a conversation with 29 other senior pastors who were in their 30s. We gathered for 3 days to discuss a new budding idea in the business world that is being referred to as a wicked problem. A wicked problem is one that has multiple entry points, multiple and differing types of stakeholders, multiple possible outcomes, and any one decision is going to affect someone and something both positively and negatively. Think about city budgets or healthcare. Wicked problems do not have a singular solution. There's no one right answer. And this is what makes it wicked. But you can't just do nothing. So what then do you do? The conference was training pastors like me to see that church is similar. Multiple vantage points, multiple stakeholders, multiple entry points, and no clear path forward. So what do we do? It's a wicked problem. I'll tell you what I've chosen to do. I've gathered input and data from health professionals, denominational leaders. I've talked to dozens of other pastors in both Virginia and beyond, and then brought in our ministers and church council to discern. It is overwhelmingly clear that a cautious, multi-phase approach is key. We can keep worshiping online for a few more weeks as we monitor the news and prepare our space for a safe return. I get that for some, this won't be the best answer, and I'm sorry. I know for others, there is a real sense of gratitude that we're being this intentional. Not that anyone is advocating for unintentionality. You see how this gets wicked even with the words we use. I ask that you join me in praying for our church and our church leaders. Pray for me as we continue to approach regathering. It makes the most sense that we utilize prayer, scientific reasoning, and caution. You and your family's health is our primary concern. It won't be long before we're together again. But keep in mind, we aren't preparing to reopen, but regather. The church was never closed. God's never been silent in this time. God is ably moving through this world and through you. And you're doing great. Keep it up. We're in this together. We'll be back in the same room soon enough. But until then, know that you are loved and valued, not only by me, but also by God.